The truth is, if you were to see what is important for us, you would notice the spiritual path, which takes care of our eternity, takes care of all the time that we have to be there in any form, is far more important than taking care of a few things that are going to be important only for us for a few years that we are in this physical body. So we give so much attention to something so transitory, so temporary, and we forget what will happen in the long run after we die and what will be this state. Just because we have no knowledge, just because we are ignorant what happens after death, we think this life is the only one and we put so much attention on it. The truth is that the afterlife is far longer, more important than this. And if one realizes this, one has to put the spiritual activity, our spiritual life, as priority number one. We very often push this meditation and spiritual work to the very end of our other activities. Whereas I believe it should be number one on our priority list. We should say, this is number one, then everything else comes. Now, my experience and the experience of many of my friends shows when we put our spiritual activity, our meditation as number one, the other things to which we are giving attention and trying to make them work well, they work well by themselves. That just by putting your priority on your meditation and spiritual work, other things happen by themselves. The other important thing is that it is very necessary to have the company of a perfect living master, and if we can't get that, of those who are advanced beyond us and have their company, and that also helps us to remain on track on the spiritual path. Without these aids, our mind tends to take us away into our normal routine rituals of daily life, and those are not important. Those are not important. When we die, at the last moment we say, oh, I wish I had understood this was all temporary. Oh, I spent so much time trying to invest in my house. The house is no longer with me. Oh, I thought I'll buy a new car. I was saving for it, and I'm dying. I couldn't even buy the car. I remember a friend of mine who could not come to one of the programs. And he said the reason for not coming was that he wanted to buy a chair, expensive chair, $800 chair. And he had put a lay aside and put some money on that, and therefore he could not come. And next time he again missed. He had to make another installment on that layaway for the chair. Eventually he died without getting the chair. Now what will happen to him? He, just because of his desire for the chair which was not fulfilled, he has assured for himself to come back again into this life just to pick up a chair. That's what happens. What are we putting our attention on? We are trying to focus on things that are least important. Similarly, we make our relationships. These are our permanent friends. And when we die, they are all left behind. Nobody goes with us. So if we just remember that one day we are going to leave this body, and these relationships, these acquisitions of property are only connected with our physical body, we will set our priorities right and do something for what is inside us and not only for our physical body. Look at the amount of time we spend on acquiring things, and we make plans. And people of my age, in their 80s, they come and tell me, I'm making an investment. In 20 years, I'll get a very big return. Right? And then they say, oh, I'm going to buy these new things. Nothing goes with them. And even those who pretend to be loving you, as soon as you die, if you keep your eyes open, you see what they are after. A man, I remember, pretended to die. He said, let me see how much my kids love me and how much my relatives love me. So he closed his eyes and made an arrangement with his doctor. The doctor came and pronounced him dead. And then everybody was fighting. That is my thing. I have to. Did he leave a will for me? And he saw that they were all after his things, and nobody cared for what was happening to him. So then he woke up and he said, I am not dead. I'm alive. I've seen the sincerity of all of you. and they got shocked. So these people whom we are trying to make our own, these things and properties that we are trying to make our own, nothing will go with us. And we put so much attention on them. Where are our priorities? Should we not give our priority to what is going to be with us forever? That is why the spiritual path is not going to be here, it's going to be with us forever. Our relationship with somebody who goes beyond this physical universe is going to be forever. Our relationship with the perfect living master is going to be forever. And that is why, that is where our high priority should be. And we should not be just running after things that are temporary, ephemeral, and will never last. The Egyptians had a technique of meditation through which they were able to foresee their afterlife. They were good meditators, they were spiritual people, they had their own way of discovery. They made great pyramids, they made structures to show that they had knowledge beyond ordinary knowledge of human beings. And yet, when the pharaohs were buried with a lot of wealth around them, and people thought that they are stupid, they think the wealth will go with them. Tutankhamun's grave was opened up and found so much gold, so much wealth around him. And people said, he thought it will go with him. No, nothing goes with you after death. But why they did that was because they found that the decisions you make with your free will, over here, those decisions work out in the astral plane. And what you want here and cannot get it, but if the wish is there, it can be, with spiritual discipline, be fulfilled in the astral plane. There was a method in their madness which most people did not understand. The only place where you can make decisions thinking it is your free will is the physical plane, in a human form. Astral plane does not allow you to make decisions. It only plays out the decisions. Then where are the decisions made for the astral plane life? They are made here. Well, we are alive here. So all good decisions that we make here and use our free will to best advantage is played out in the astral plane. So that is where we should put our attention to see what long-term benefits can we get which are beyond this life of the physical body and make those decisions here. And then it's an advantage. This is where the perfect living master and the spiritual path comes in, because you are enabled to make decisions way beyond this life. You are able to prepare yourself the afterlife and prepare to go home.